Thinking of moving to Calgary? Well, before you pack your bags, there's a few things you need to know, because what everyone's telling you might only be half the truth. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on what it's really like to live in Calgary. From hidden perks that could save you thousands, to deal breakers that might make you second guess your decision. This isn't just a sugar-coated highlight reel. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know whether the move to Calgary is truly for you, or if it's a decision that could cost you time, money, and peace of mind. Before we get into it, I'm Sean McGirr, your local Calgary realtor that has a passion for helping people make confident, informed decisions. Whether you're buying your first home, selling your current one, investing, or relocating, I can help you hit those goals. Let's jump right in and start with what makes Calgary so attractive to people relocating from cities like Vancouver or Toronto, and that's the affordability. The housing prices in Calgary are still significantly lower compared to those other major cities in Canada. And Alberta has a pretty big bonus. There's no provincial sales tax. That's right, you only pay 5% GST here. There's no HST and there's no PST. That means that every year you could be saving thousands on everything from groceries to major purchases. So if you're working remotely or bringing in a higher salary from out of province, your money just goes farther here. And these days with inflation, that's more important than ever. Calgary's job market is finally hitting its stride again. We have been seeing huge growth in industries like tech, clean energy, construction, logistics, and even film production, with shows like The Last of Us choosing to film here in Calgary. With several global companies setting up shop and local startups gaining momentum, the city is finally starting to diversify beyond just oil and gas, which, if you know Calgary, used to be pretty much the only game in town here. Average salaries here are climbing, and with the cost of housing still relatively low, that gives Calgary one of the best income to house pricing ratios in the country. If you're outdoorsy, or even just like looking at the mountains from your deck, then Calgary's pretty tough to beat. We're only about an hour's drive away from places like Banff, Canmore, and Kananaskis, giving you access to some of the best skiing, hiking, and camping in Canada. Even if you're not a weekend warrior, just having that scenery close by is what makes Calgary feel so peaceful and grounded. Plus, we get more sunshine than any other major Canadian city. On average, we see over 333 days of sunshine a year. That's a huge boost to mental health. Calgary is incredibly clean, especially compared to other major cities in Canada. Our parks and green spaces are well maintained, crime rates are low in most areas, and overall the city just feels safe. If you've got kids, there are great schools, rec centers, and whole communities designed around family living, especially in areas like Mahogany, Legacy, or Tuscany. Here's a hidden benefit that most buyers don't know until they get here. Alberta has no land transfer tax. In other provinces like Ontario or BC, this can cost you tens of thousands of dollars up front when you're buying a home. In Alberta, you pay a small registration fee, usually under $500. That's it. If you're budgeting to buy, this might just tip the scales in Calgary's favor. But not everything's great, so let's talk about a couple downsides. And let's start with the weather. Yes, although we get all that sun we just talked about, it's not always great here, especially if you're someone that suffers from migraines. We get Chinooks here. These are warm winds that can spike the temperature by 20 degrees in a day. And although that sounds great, it also brings pretty big pressure changes with it. So if you're someone that struggles with migraines, this can affect them pretty badly sometimes. Winter here can be long as well as cold, and although the dry air helps, it's just not for everyone. Calgary's public transit system is, well, it's okay. The LRT works for some commuters, especially along the red or blue lines, but in newer communities, the bus routes just don't really cut it. They have short schedules, they don't run on weekends, so a lot of people end up needing a car. If you're used to getting around by subway or walking everywhere, then Calgary might be a bit of a shock to you. Speaking of newer communities, Calgary is spread out. We're talking long commutes from places like Auburn Bay or Evanston if you're heading downtown every day. The city's trying to keep up with new infrastructure, but the traffic in and out of certain areas, especially during rush hour, can be a real grind. If lifestyle over location is your priority, then it might be worth the trade-off for you. But it's absolutely something to think about when you're choosing what neighborhood to live in. Yes, Calgary's economy is diversifying, but oil and gas still have a huge influence here. When the energy prices dip, it can ripple through the whole market. If you're in a volatile industry, or if you want to invest long-term here, then understanding Calgary's economical cycles is crucial. And finally, while Calgary is growing, it's still finding its identity culturally. And don't get me wrong, there's great local restaurants, art galleries, festivals, especially during the summer. But if you're coming from somewhere like Toronto or Montreal, the variety may feel pretty limited at first. The good news though is that that's changing pretty quickly. Every year, new voices, foods, and events are adding more color to the city. So whether you're seriously considering a move to Calgary or just exploring your options, you're not alone. I have people just like you reaching out to me every week with questions about buying, selling, and relocating to the city. If you're thinking about making Calgary your home or your next investment, then I'd love to hear from you. You can book a call with me or head over to my website using the links in the description below. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.